Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today let's talk date codes, specifically Louis Vuitton. I feel like a lot of people get this, like they mistake this and they think that you can authenticate a bag by a date code, and that is just not true. So Louis Vuitton has changed the way that they do date codes a few times, not like several. So it's not like every year they're changing it, but they have changed it a few times. So I'm not sure when they started date codes. I kind of think it was the 80s, but I'm not sure. And I know that it was like they had a number for the month and then the year, I believe. I don't know. I could be wrong on that one. I think it was like the number of the month first, followed by two numbers for the year. That's how it was, but I'm not quite sure on that one, and I don't own any of those. But then I think from 90 to 2006 is when they started doing the first two letters would be where it was made, so the factory that it was made and the country that it was made, and then the last four, it would be the first and the third would be the month that it was made, and the second and the fourth would be the year that it was made. So I have an example, and that's going to be in my Speedy 25. This one is from 2004. And if you're looking at the front of the Speedy, and you know it's the front because it's right side up, looking into the Speedy on the right side, it is SP0014. So this one was made in January of 2004. This is the only one that I have left, I think. Yeah, this is the only one that I have left that is before 2006. So that's how you would read this one. Now, that is not a way to authenticate the bag, is by looking at it and everything, but that is one of the things that you could look at. So this is not about how to authenticate a bag. This is just more so about small features and the date codes. So every Speedy and every bag and pretty much everything you buy from Louis Vuitton will have a date code. I haven't run into anything that doesn't, accept like luggage tags and stuff like that. Those don't. Now, back in the day I had a ring and ended up returning it because it was made of wood, and I thought that was a bad idea because I washed my hands too much. But that one also had a date code, and it was on the inside of the ring. So as far as I know, everything has one. Now, when we were in Vegas, I was asking one of the SAs about, when I was buying my bracelet, I had the double tour Louis Vuitton bracelet, and when I was asking him, where's the date code on it, he was like, oh, they don't have date codes. Then as I was looking at it more, I found the date code, so he was wrong. So just because your SA says it doesn't mean it's true. A lot of them haven't worked there that long, and you might have been buying stuff longer than they have, so you might actually know more than they do. That's not always the case. Sometimes they know a ton, but you will run across those that don't, and sometimes they'll just say things because they don't have the answer and they know that you probably don't know and you'll believe what they say. So that's just not true. So anyway, this is the Speedy 25. That's where you can find the date code. I have heard that sometimes it's on the left side. None of mine have it on the left side, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say that one is fake if you get it and it's like that, but for my experience, it's always on the right side. So yeah, and that's mine. It's my oldest bag, and the only one I have left with a date code that is the month and then the year. So next, let's just continue with the Speedy real quick. This is my Speedy 30, and again, this is monogram, and it's in the same spot. It's going to be on the right side. So 2006 and on is when they started doing, the first two are going to be, again, is still where it's made, the factory and the location, and then, except now it's the first and the third are going to be the week, and then the second and the fourth numbers are going to be the year. So this one is DU 2618. So this was made in the 26th week of 2018. So you will find it right here on the right side. Also on the Speedies, the classic Speedies, the side that has the made in, underneath it has a number, and the 25 will have a 25, the 30 will have a 30, 35, and so on. But it's very, very faint, and yes, if you own it for a long time, sometimes they do kind of come out, so don't freak out if you can't find it anymore and yours is super old, but that's where they are. And that's another thing that you should really look at if you're getting a pre-loved Speedy, is looking under here. You might want to ask, like if you're buying it from like eBay or personal or regular person, just someone you find on Instagram, you might want to ask to see underneath the tab to make sure. And again, it's on this side, not here. And if you're looking at a Speedy bandolier, I should have pulled mine out, but to check that one, you would just pull the tab to the side and you will find it there. The next one is going to be the Petite Noé. Now, Louis Vuitton likes to hide date codes. I have sometimes had a hard time being like, where can I find this? Like, I know they all have it, but where is it? So on the Noé, it is going to be harder to find. So if you're looking at the bag and you're like, well, it should be inside, it's not. And it doesn't have a little tab or anything, which some have tabs and some that have them printed like the Speedy does. But on the Noé, you will pull this and it is under here. So this one's hard to get to, but if you pull these, it's on this little loop thing. And this one is SA 4139. So this was made the 43rd week of 2019. So that's where you would find it on the Noé. That's the same as on the Petite and all of them. That's where you're gonna find it, except the multicolor. Instead, that one is gonna be inside on the pocket, and that's the same with my multicolor Speedy too. The Speedy doesn't have a flap. Instead, it has a pocket inside, and that's where you will find the date code. It is printed in the pocket. Speaking of those kind of date codes and where you will find them, this is the microfiber. Now, this is a super, super soft interior, and some of the new bags have them, some of the old bags have them. It's just kind of random, but they're very soft. Now, this is the Wapiti case, and there is a pocket inside here. Inside the pocket, like against the actual pocket thing, is where you'll find the date code. This is so hard to see it. The same with my others that have this interior. It is so hard to read these. I think when you first buy them, they're probably pretty easy because they're brand new and everything, but the longer you have them, they tend to wear out on the microfiber. And that's the case with this one. I bought this one, actually my mom bought this one brand new for me back when they first came out. And yeah, I've used the crap out of this. So mine is definitely worn, but I remember when I'd be able to see it, but now I can't even read it. It's impossible, but it is there. So if you get one pre-loved, you can at least see the faint spot where it used to be, and then you know you're good to go. But with the microfiber, it tends to be a little bit harder to read your date code. Here's another one. So this one is another hard one to find, and this is going to be in the Neverfull. So I always think it's interesting when I'm watching videos and people are showing their Neverfulls and they're just like, I can't find the date code, I can't find the date code. And this is also one that I remember when I first bought this, because I bought this when they first came out. I called Louis Vuitton and I was like, well, where's the date code? Is this fake? Like, I didn't know any better. But anyway, it's a harder one to find. So there is a pocket inside, and if you lift the pocket up on this side, you have to actually lift this side thing up, and it's hidden right there. So mine is SD4058, and it's very hard to see. It's very hard to get up there. So if you are buying one pre-loved and they can't seem to photograph the whole thing, that's because literally you saw how hard it was for me to get up there. It is hard to get there. I don't know how some people get the pictures. Like, I don't know what they're doing to pull on it. I'm kind of afraid to pull on mine too much because I don't want to mess it up. But that's where you will find it, and that's where it always is. As far as I know, that one has never moved, and it is perfectly placed. Like, see, well, this is kind of hard because the newer ones don't have the lines in them, but if you're buying one that's, you know, the original style still, and it has these lines, mine is vertical, and it lines up perfectly with these lines. So it lines flat, like lays flat on the line, and it's in there perfect. So yeah. Now the new Neverfulls do come with a pouch. Clearly mine didn't because mine was too old and it was the original version. But I bought this one separate. I bought this one recently, and I know someone's gonna ask, how did I get it? You can't just buy it. You already have to own one of these. So someone helped me get one, someone that owns one. It was not an SA, so don't ask mine because she can't do it. I asked her first. So anyway, I got something in here. Anyway, these have the little, you know, where it's made. This one's made in France. But the thing that people don't seem to know is that it does have a date code in it. Now it is in the pocket. So you got that. Here's the pocket, and it is right there in the corner. And this one is DK3119. And yeah, oh, so it's inside the pocket. Kind of a random thing about these is I know someone that bought one and her pouch had a different date code than her bag. It's not going to mean it's fake if you buy it pre-loved, just FYI, apparently that is a thing because she bought hers brand new and it didn't match. When she asked about it, I think I remember her saying that they told her that's because they're made separate and then they're put together. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't have one to tell you. But apparently that's a possibility because hers was new and hers was authentic and that's how it came. So that's apparently a possibility. Okay, next. Louis Vuitton sometimes moves the date codes. Here's a very good example. My Palm Springs PM backpack. I had the original version and the date code was, if you open it up inside the pocket of the originals, you will find your date code in there. This is the new version. Take the dust bag out. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but see that little speck down there? There's a little shiny speck. Oh, can you see it now? There it is, right there. That's the date code now. And on these, the date code is, I say it's shiny because with it being the black interior and being leather, the tab on this one is leather and it's got a gold stamp. So the date code on that one is now in a different spot. It's still authentic. They just moved it. And they do that sometimes. They move the locations of the date codes. Kind of, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know the reason, but that's that. Going along with some that are really hard to find, it's going to be the Pochette Matisse. I couldn't think of the name of this. Anyway, this one I felt like was hard to find. I had a hard time finding it. I don't know if it's moved. I never really paid attention when other people were doing their videos, but on mine, it is in this pocket, and if you open it, it's against this side. So it's way down there. I can't show you because I can't even, it's not way down at the bottom. It's like right here. It's like right there. I can barely get to mine. I don't want to mess up my pocket at all, but that's where you'll find it. And it's still a leather tab, but that's where it is on the Empreinte Pochette Matisse. Next is going to be accessories, and like I said, there is a date code on everything. So I told you about my World Tour bracelet, and there was one on that. There was one on the ring I had, and straps. So you're not going to find it on straps that come with the Speedy bandolier. You're not going to find it with the, any bag. Any regular bag, you're not going to find it. If it comes with a strap, there's not going to be a code on that one. It's going to be on the bag instead. But if you buy an actual strap, like one that you have to buy on its own, not a spare part or anything, but if you're buying an actual strap, they're going to have one. So this is the monogram bandolier strap with the noir, so it's got the black. And the date code on this one is, so here it is right side up. You turn it around. There is a date code, and I think the other one's a style number. I'm not really sure. But the date code is first, followed by a space, and then another letter and some numbers. I don't know what that other one is. I couldn't tell you, but this one looks like it's JJ1119, so it was made in the 11th week of 2019. So that is on there. And then accessories, I'm just going to show you a random one because this one's easier to kind of show you. Wallets, they like to hide it in the pockets, so they're super hard to get to. You have to like open them, stuff like that. But same with agendas, my desk agenda, it's hard to get into it. I have to lift up the pocket and kind of get in there. So I understand why when people are reselling them, they have a hard time taking a picture to show people because they're really hard to get to. But anyway, this is the Transatlantic Christmas edition from a few years ago, the zippy coin purse. This one, if you open it up, it has the really pretty, I don't know what you'd call that, red, pink kind of color. It says Louis Vuitton Paris made in France, and this date code is right down here. And it does not have a tab or anything because, again, the SLGs really don't normally have tabs. It just kind of depends on what you're buying. But instead, it's just printed on there in gold, and it's like on there. So if you're looking for one in here, that's where you will find it. Again, that's not a way to authenticate is by the date codes, but that is one you might want to look at because Louis Vuitton always uses a certain font and they're normally lined up in a certain way. I have gotten some that the date code looks all crazy. Like I had a leather one inside my Delightful that just looked like they chopped it up all weird. There was nothing wrong with the bag. It was brand new from the store, but the date code on the leather tab was just kind of wrong looking. It looked completely wrong, but there was nothing wrong with it. It was real. So sometimes it's hard because you look at a date code or you look at the little leather piece and you're like, oh, that looks terrible. There's no way that's real. Well, sometimes it is. And in my case, it was. It's just that's how it was. Like, I don't know what else to say on that one. That's just how it was. And there are lots of other ways that you need to go about if you want to authenticate something. I do not trust authenticators. In my opinion, they are just normal people who have been buying bags for a long time. You don't go to school to authenticate bags. You just look at a ton of them. And if someone can authenticate your bag by pictures, I wouldn't always trust that because I have seen pictures of fakes that blow my mind. I don't know how they are real, but they are, and they look exactly like authentic bags that I own. So an authenticator might say that those are real when they're fake. I have also heard of people sending stuff to them and they will say that they're fake and the person bought it from the store and they're like, nope, it's real. So they're wrong there. And then also the other way around. Someone submitted pictures of fakes just to see if these people knew what they were talking about, and they came back saying it was real and it wasn't. So be very careful. I don't trust any of them. Just, it is what it is. I would rather buy from a reseller and I can authenticate it myself, but I don't know. I think that those are few and far between when they really know. Without holding it in their hands, these days it's really hard to know, especially the way that these super fakes are. But I just kind of want to share that about the date codes and stuff. If you have any questions or comments on it, if I was wrong about anything, just let me know, because clearly I don't know everything. I'm just showing you on what I have and what I do know. But yeah, any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.